How's it going, everyone who's watching this? I'm Silas the Ghost. Uh, uh, Today I'm doing a little Q&A and reading the prologue of my book. Oop, I messed with the mic audio very much by accident. Um, okay, that's good. That's good. I'm here to do some, like, three little questions, talk about some lore behind the book, everything neat, and then I am going to actually read the book. Or, well, the prologue of the book. The actual book is not finished yet. So, where have I been? I've been here. I just have been lacking the motivation that I need to actually record. I find it difficult to get the right stuff to record, and then if I do record, always something seems to happen. Like, I've tried recording Minecraft videos for like the past few months now, about like 3 times, and OBS just does not like me at all. What is this book about? It's my book. It's called Journals. It's modern fantasy. It takes place in a world that I have been building for the past several years. It started out as a comic series, actually, which any of my like old friends who know this, Melody and stuff, Melody Peyton Creedon, they all knew or all know that comic, so they know some of the rough plot, which that's still not a whole lot because I've changed just about everything. Changed characters' names, characters, everything. I've changed their motive. If they're good or evil, I've probably changed that. And they don't even know half of it because I never even finished the comics. I got to like about as far as I am in the book in the comics. I've been working on this for months. How far along is my book? I'm only on chapter 3 after several months of making this. I have been going back. I write a draft of every chapter, and I go back, and once I finish that draft, I go back, edit it, add some things that I need to add, like the proper text, fix any grammatical, dear Lord, I have a stutter, grammatical errors, and all of that. Also, I do have water with me, so if at every point I just stop talking like this and just, it's probably because I'm drinking water, because I dehydrate very easily. So, yeah, that is the basics of the questions, the Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and start reading the book. Journals. The Stolen Worlds by Silas the Ghost and my co-author Titus. I'm not giving his name away because I do not have permission to give his last name. For my dear friends and family who never gave up on my inspiration. Prologue. The ordinary life in an ordinary place of an unordinary person. As you can see, adding blue crystals to a fire potion makes an enchanted potion for speed, the professor explained. I wasn't paying much attention in class, which was odd. I love this class, although this time I'm not focusing on it because of this memory I have. Like when you wake up suddenly from a dream. It's of this vague memory of a man, a doctor, I think, but he's just offsetting. I've never seen him before except for this memory of him. Someone threw a note at me. Huh? I say out loud. I open the note and see. Open your email, Kane. My email. Oh. He sent me the answers to the quiz? Why would he? Carmen, do you have your test on yet? Said Mr. Jones, my teacher. Yes, sir. Thank the gods for Kane's help. I opened the file and spun my computer around and showed it to Mr. Jones. Seems like a passing grade. Send it to me so I can grade it, he said. The bell rang for lunch, and I started to pack up my bags before I got cut off. Carmen, you brought your own lunch, correct? Yes, sir, I responded to Mr. Jones. Just want to talk to you for a second. You have a C average for this class. not counting up your makeup test, of course. And you are missing a lot of days, and you hold the highest makeup test rate out of all my students this year. This is unlike you. In the past, you've had A/B averages for every class. Is something wrong? I stood there. I have been thinking a lot more of my over my childhood. I seem to can't remember most of it. Why am I thinking of this man more and more? Is there something wrong with me? Sorry, sir. I guess I'm just a bonehead, I said, pointing at the skeleton prop we used for science class. Mr. Jones let out a sigh. I'll toss you a bone for that, but you have to pay more attention next time. I left the classroom and headed down to the lunch table I sat at. I opened my lunch, homemade ramen, and my mother would always make it for me. It always is nice, and they made it specifically where it tastes best cold. Yo, there you are, Carmen. We were looking for you, said Kane. Kane, my closest friend, 6 foot, 6 foot tall, brown hair, brown eyes. He seems to wear sport glasses at all times. He's oddly good at bowling and a great guy. He also loves anything sci-fi and fantasy. Sorry, I was busy in the classroom and came in late, I said. Well, with you here now, we can start Dumb Squad's 11th meeting of the month, said my other closest friend, Diesel. We call him Dan. I'm not sure how that started. Short brown hair, not the tallest. He isn't fit, but isn't fat either. Brown eyes and lovable personality. Dumb Squad, Dumb Squad, Dumb Squad, we all said, chanting together. After lunch, I went to my next class. The thought of the man still lingers in my head. I just can't seem to shake it. Like wet clothes sticking to your skin. It's just an all-around unpleasant feeling. I feel like I should remember. He feels like someone very important, almost like, huh? I get cut off as I walk into someone. Hey, watch where you're going next time. I looked down to see a classmate. She had hair covered in her eye. I think her name was Kate, maybe Catherine? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about something. I should probably hit class, I said in a rushed voice, after I realized the time. She just looked at me and walked away, with this weird look in her eyes. What was I thinking about again? Throughout the whole day, I feel like I'm forgetting something vital. Let's see, you did your tests, or I should say, I did your test. Finished your work, we had our meeting. This is something I don't know about. Doesn't seem all that important, said Kane. It doesn't feel like it's important to, like, something you would know. It feels just related to me, something vital I should know. I try to grab at the dim light of the memory, but get pushed back by the darkness of my mind. Like the subconscious part of me is fighting the conscious part of me. I let out a sigh. Maybe before the end of the day I'll remember. I mean, if it's important, as I think it is, I'll remember it eventually, I said. Yeah, I think you're right, said Kane, who got cut off by the bell. My little break was over and headed to my only advanced class I have, Advanced Magic Studies. Good afternoon, class, said Miss Kin. As some of you have may heard from your classmate in C2, also known as Junior Magic Studies, the whole school will be holding a small practice test of sorts. A small experiment, if you will. She explained to the class. Maybe this class will help jumpstart my memory on what I'm forgetting. If not, I like this class, so I'll most look like he's still enjoy it. Now, one at a time, every student will approach my desk, and we will use these objects to determine your basic magic type. The 5 basic magic types are fire, water, earth, air, and medical, said the teacher. She started to call up students. I would normally be filled with excitement, but I already knew what my magic element was. It's fire, said Miss Kin aloud, cutting me off, grabbing a water bottle to put out a candle that nearly lit everything on fire. I look at the kid. I'm correct that was the new kid, Zack Scott, I believe. You have great fire magic and a promising future ahead of you, as long as you don't burn it down, Miss Kin said as she let out a chuckle. Thank you, said the kid. Something seems off about him. Okay, Carmen, you're up next, said Miss Kin, looking at me, pushing a chair to let me sit on. First, we will use this paper. If it wraps around your fingers, you'll have a medical nature. I held my hand out on the paper and waited and waited. After a while, nothing happened. Miss Kin said, okay, you have no reaction to the medical nature. Normally the paper at least moves, but yours doesn't seem to. You may be one of the few who can perform medical magic, she said as she went to go grab a cup of water. Next, we will use this cup of water. If the water moves towards your finger, it will let us know you have water magic as your natural type. She placed the cup in front of me. I waited till it stopped moving, and I put my fingers right next to the cup, making sure I wasn't touching it. The water had a small ripple when I first got near it, but after that, no moves were made. Okay, not water either, although you do seem to have some potential with it. She went to pick up a magnet and place on the table facing away from me. Place your index fingers right between the magnet. If it pushes or pulls from your finger, you'll have at least some basic earth magic. Just know, if it pushes away, you should be able to use advanced earth magic. I placed my finger right next to it and saw a little shake before it stopped moving. Another type that it just isn't for me. She placed down a candle. This time she already had the cup of water in her hand. Now, from the looks of it, either you have a very rare magic type known as Jack, or as many call it, Jack of all trades, where you can use every magic type very well with no training, or you simply just lack the strength needed for most other magic types besides your natural. We only have two magic types left, air and fire. Let's go ahead and do the fire test. I heard the other kids snicker when she said weak alternatives. A good magic user should be able to at least use two magic types with great power and get granted A rank if they want any chance to be a military member, which they all knew I wanted to be a hero rank soldier, the highest rank of all soldiers in the army. I went to touch the candlestick, but before I was even close to touching it, my hand was still on my lap. The candle lit in a blaze. Miss Kin threw the water, but it still burned. The fire was even greater than Zack's fire, but it was out of my control. I could not do anything. From the corner of my eye, I saw someone stand up from his seat, take a deep breath in, put his hands together. His cheeks puffed up. He let out a large surge of water out of his mouth. I stood there in shock. My closest friend just pulled off an advanced water magic trick in the middle of class after my mess up. After the class calmed down, Miss Kin explained, okay, class, due to unforeseen circumstances, she said, looking at me, the rest of the class will be held tomorrow. The rest of you who did not get a chance should report to the parent center to list your name so we can get you tomorrow. After all the kids had left, Miss Kin brought me to her desk. She already had moved all the test gear. Carmen, she said with a glare at me, your magic powers are strong, too strong for you to use. I fear that you may harm yourself or others if you do not be careful. The classroom would be a lot more of a mess if your friend Kane wasn't there. She handed me a small paper. Here's one of the old ones. The new ones give us a better understanding of how strong your magic is. But this gives us a more detailed look at your magic, the more of the subclass options. We will see if you are a fire user or if you were just born with a more advanced subclass of fire. I went to grab the paper, and as soon as I touched it, there were burn marks in the shape of lightning bolts, like a kid's drawing. Oh my, this is truly amazing. She looked up at me. In my years of teaching, never have I ever seen a natural lightning magic user. Prologue end. Yeah, that wraps up the end of my prologue. In the entirety of how long? Those 15 minutes, I have drunken 2 water bottles. Or at least it may be 15 minutes. I had some outtakes. Uh, this has been my one and only shot. I am not redoing this because it's a lot of words. I don't know how people will sit down and read entire books to you. I simply cannot do it. I don't know. I cannot sit down for that long and read. Yeah, I really hope y'all enjoyed the little prologue, little teaser, if you will, of my book. I have a lot of great things coming with this, and I truly hope that everyone will enjoy this, or at least see the potential in it. You may not like it, but you can at least see the creativity in it. The prologue is not the most creative, but it gets way better. Depending on how long it takes me to actually finish the book, I may do more chapters. If I get it done like this year, I probably won't, but if it takes longer, then you can expect to see more chapters of me reading them to you. I do plan to make some money off the book as well. So I'll probably set up maybe a Patreon once I finish it, just for digital copies, because I'm not making a whole lot of physical copies. But if we reach a certain number of digital copies, I may do physical copies. And if I do, the first people who are getting a physical copy are all of my friends. They will be getting a signed copy. So to y'all reading this, specifically in the toilet paper and the Misfits, y'all are probably gonna get a signed physical copy way sooner than everyone else. But yeah, I'm Solace the Ghost. I'll see you in the next one.